Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. It is so good to have you with us. It's Thursday, September 24th. That's right, September 24th. We are almost through another week. Glad to have you with us. We've got your HCC news and information for the next half hour. My co-host Brittany Pacheco joins me live from her home studio. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning, Todd, and good morning to everyone on this Thursday morning. I can't believe we're just a week away from October. That's insane to me.
Crazy, isn't it?
It is. It truly is. This year has been a very, it definitely goes down in history for sure, but it's going by fairly quickly at this point. But as a friendly reminder to everyone who is watching us, if you haven't taken the time to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, now's a great time to do so, or after the podcast, whichever is the case. Also want to remind you to follow our YouTube channel. You can subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to find out the latest video uploads from us. And last but not least, you can help us here on Up to the Minute by sharing this podcast so that we can grow our audience and we can inform people about all this great information.
That's right, Brittany. We're going to check in with you in a little while. Keep an eye out for any questions we may have in social media, will you? Good deal. All right. Brittany is going to stand by. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of guests joining us today. Gabriela Zambrano is the director of the Houston MBDA Center. Good morning, Gabriela.
Good morning, Todd. How are you?
It's great. I know you've got a big event coming up, series coming up. We're going to talk more with you about that in a few minutes. Thanks for being here. Our first guest this morning, you may know him from the West Houston Institute. He's the program director, Ideas Studio and Ideas Academy. We'll talk more about that in a second. From HCC's West Houston Institute, Jordan Carswell. Welcome to the show, Jordan.
Hey, good morning, Todd. How's it going?
It's great to have you with us. And, you know, we've talked to you about the Ideas Academy. Ideas stands for Innovation, Design, and Entrepreneurship integrated into the arts and sciences. Long name, but great academy. You got a lot of good things going on out there.
Indeed. Yes. Yes, it's a premier program. It's a part of the West Houston Institute. We started about 3 years ago, and it began as a program that we offered to A-Leaf Early College High School seniors that were on the campus, and we did that for 2 years. And then last year, we brought Houston Community College STEM students into the program through another grant run by Jeff Steer called the LSAMP program. And we made it through with the strangeness of the spring and the pandemic and had a good experience with that. And so this year, we're opening up an opportunity for any HCC student to participate in the program.
So you've got something going on, which to me sounds like a sci-fi film. It's called Project HOMEWORLD, not coming to theaters soon, but it is going to be at the West Houston Institute virtually. Jordan, tell us about it.
It is. So every year as a part of Ideas Academy, we do a challenge, a student challenge, and students come up with projects based on a theme, and then they develop those during the semester and then present at the end of the year. And usually we have a very specific theme that we do. We did food security one year. We did civic engagement around the census. The following year, last year, we did something called Plastic Planet. This year, there's a lot going on. And so it seemed hard to narrow it down to one thing. So the term Homeworld comes from science fiction. It stands for the place where we live. In our world of maker spaces and creative problem solving and this kind of thing with students, you hear a lot about projects about missions to Mars. And during the pandemic, it occurred to me, what are we doing here on our planet that it's so bad that going to Mars is a better solution for us? So I hit on the name of using the idea of Homeworld and Project Homeworld. And so students have a chance this semester to submit project proposals in different categories. This isn't a business competition. We do have students that will submit for products and services, but it's also civic engagement campaigns, public art and cultural works, scientific research and design. And so we need solutions from all of these areas. And we've learned that our students have a lot of talent and ambition. And so this is an opportunity for them to have that recognized and to get funding for their projects.
So this is a competition, and usually all competitions include prizes and winnings. So maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
So Project Homeworld is a little bit different. Students will be submitting proposals for projects, and it is a competition because there will be a selection process. Students will receive a grant up to $1,000, those projects that are accepted, and they will get to work with Ideas Studio Makerspace and the staff and resources at the West Houston Institute to develop that project in the spring. And then we're starting to connect with some of the Houston startup, like the incubators and different places, to try and for those projects that are really promising, to connect them during the summer for opportunities for further development. And so it's really a chance to start a project that maybe you had an idea for something that you know would be impactful, and to propose it, get it funded, get a lot of support here at the college, and then maybe take it on past that when you're done here.
Are there requirements for registration, and how can students register?
So students can go to hccs.edu/homeworld, and the website has all of the information there. The requirements are not too burdensome. You just have to be a current Houston Community College student. You need to have at least one other person on your team, so we want more than one student submitting an idea. You have to submit in one of the project categories. And the other thing that we're doing is we're connecting this year with the UN's Global Goals for Sustainable Development. Those are 17 goals that were put together by world leaders in 2015 to be set as markers for leaders around the world, but also normal people, to get behind the individual goals and help to achieve those, for a better planet and for better living circumstances for everybody. And so trying to think of what else. So there are some specifics that are there as part of the application, and things just in terms of this, what the funding requirements are, what the activities that they would need to do to complete the project would be, that kind of thing.
So you're asking students, I think their phrase for that UN campaign is think global, but act local. And that's kind of what you're encouraging students to do?
Right. So every big idea starts someplace, and usually it starts, locally. These days, the web does enable you to go global almost immediately with ideas, but we're really encouraging students to think of projects that will help, someplace here locally, or even if we have a big international population, even maybe back at home if they're, from someplace, else in the world. But we also want them to be thinking about how to make that connection between the thing they're trying to do to help some, a community or somebody, locally, but then how does this connect globally with issues? Because it's guaranteed that people around the world are having the same issues and problems.
Well, like all of us, you guys are doing things virtually now, and I know you have, through the Ideas Academy, have a number of events that you're going to be posting for students. The Agents of Change virtual talks. Maybe you can go over a few of those that are coming up, because they're all going to be going on through, looks like starting next month through November. Yeah,
so starting in October, the 13th, we have a number of talks, about 2 every week, and those are by people who are agents of change, who are making an impact in the Houston area and then beyond, but they're all locally based. And so we're kicking it off with Jesse Bounds, who's the Director of Innovation for the City of Houston. He's going to talk about Houston's leadership in this movement called the Smart City Initiative, and how they're using technology to create a more sustainable and resilient future for Houston. We have Tita Banks coming from the UN to talk to us about the 75th anniversary this year of the UN and the global goals. And then a number of other people coming to talk about technology solutions. So we have VR for good, 3D printing for good, data science for good. And then ending it all with somebody who's going to come and talk to us about some of the changes that are happening in the fashion industry and how they're making a more waste-free future in that. So hopefully these will inspire students and get them energized. It'll be an opportunity to connect and do a little bit of networking as well. And so I'm really humbled and fortunate to have all these great people come in to join us to help us with this year.
And as always, these events that you're talking about, they're free to HCC students, faculty, and staff. You're welcome to get more information on the link we'll share in this post. Jordan, always, you guys are always blowing people away with the things you come up with out there. You got some incredible ideas, very innovative, and it's always good to hear about them.
Always appreciate you guys hyping up what we're doing and promoting it. So look forward to talking more, maybe on the other side when we've got the next stage of this.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see each other face to face sometime sooner rather than later. I've been saying that for the past 3 months, and it's been later all the ways along. So yeah, I guess we'll just see how this pandemic plays out. Jordan, thanks for being here.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you. And we are going to move on to Gabriela. And Gabriela, now you work with HCC, but are you guys connected with SCORE as well?
No, not at all. So we are the Minority Business Development Agency, and we are federally funded by the U.S. Department of Commerce. So our goal is to help and grow minority-owned business. So our operator, so I always tell people have two bosses, is the Houston Community College. So because we deal with a lot of small business, we're work closely with the small business community.
So tell me you have something coming up called the Online Export Academy. Tell me about this program. And it looks like these are a series of classes. Is that correct?
That is correct. So these are actually 7 series of classes that started back in September 15, so 2 weeks ago. And the last class is going to be on October 27. And these actually started maybe a year ago, but because of the wonderful pandemic, we had to cancel it. And then we decided to pivot it online. It's very interesting because this is a collaboration between the Houston Community College, MBDA, the Houston District Export Council, and of course, the U.S. Commercial Service. So our goal was to incentivize and help companies to export. We've added one class, which is called Digital Strategies for International Trade, which is coming up next week, September 29, because with COVID happened, before it was like, okay, let's travel, let's go meet distributor, let's go meet. Now we're gonna look at how you can promote yourself in other countries, how you can help get contact with other countries, and what is a new business card? It's no longer you go and you meet them personally. Now you have different tools out there that you need to hone in and learn.
So let me ask you this, just from a layman's terms, when you think of exporting in Houston, you think of the big companies that do the exporting. Are there middle companies and smaller companies that can get in on this? And is that who you're geared towards?
That is correct. So we're gearing, I don't know if you know this, but we're geared towards companies that maybe they have $1 million in sales. Yep. So they're still considered small. They're not micro business, because when it comes to exporting, it costs money. And it costs money because once you start sending stuff away, you need to start thinking about lawyers, legal contracts, market research. Who are you going to do it? It's different when you're in Houston and you kind of know your market and you know people, but here you're actually bringing something that you believe is better or lacks in that country. And you want to make sure you have the right contacts, the right contact, that it follows the rules, because you have to follow the legal format of the United States and the legal format of another country.
Yeah. What is the biggest misconception that somebody comes to you and says, I want to start exporting maybe XYZ? What's the biggest misconception they may have?
That maybe they're the first one who thought about this, and that they don't need help. So one of our, the reason why there is a collaboration is because there's certain things as our agency does, the U.S. Commercial Service does. We also are collaborating with SCORE, which is helping companies that maybe they're not ready to export, but they want to start thinking about a business plan. And then we're also working with like Export and Import Bank, XM. So people start understanding like what kind of tools do the U.S. offer to these companies. So a lot of people think like they can launch themselves when there's tons of small business partners there ready to help increase and helping them go to the next stage of their business.
You touched on it briefly just a moment ago, but maybe you can go through some of the top topics that'll be covered in the classes.
So I'm going to go for back because this is we're building up a little bit what is the academy. So the first one was international business plan. So it was talking about language, how do you contact, the different voltage. Then we have foreign market entry, and that's more where, how do you identify which market? How do you identify the distributor? What kind of format do you need to use? How do you communicate with them? Then we go into digital strategies for international trade. And that's e-commerce sales. So how to set up your website, use social media, and how to network yourself. Then we go into more, I was gonna say a little bit boring, but it's more the most important part, which is contract, legal issues, and licensing. Then we go into export financing and tax issue, transportation issues, like what is income terms, documentation, packaging, how will you, discussion of freight forwarding, all these little tools that are out there. And then we'll have like an expert panel of different private company who has gone through the process, and maybe they can tell you a little bit of the hiccups. For example, now that there's COVID-19, there's a lot of requirements you got to do whenever you export something, because you want to make sure that it's sanitized and it's following the status and program of that freight forwarder. So there's a lot of interesting things. So you're building up so you're ready to export and have better idea and create connections. Because right now we don't have those places to start creating connections.
Let me ask you this. Say I'm selling a product here in the States. I have a good business plan. I'm having success. I have social media marketing, and I'm sending out an email campaign. And now I want to sell these products to maybe South America or China. Do I have to change the way I'm marketing to those countries through social media and through emails? And if I do you guys address those in your classes?
Yeah, we do. We actually have what is called and this is the reason why we partner with the U.S. Commercial Service, because they have contact with like 160 countries around the world. So let's say you want to partner with, let's go something easy, Mexico. So they have people actually in country where they can tell you what works and what doesn't work and why would it work. For example, we were talking about not all countries you consider luxury items, and some countries you do. So it depends. They'll let you know how big is the market, or how tight is the market, or how competitive the market is. Yeah. We also partner with MBDA Export Center, which is in San Antonio, and they actually go look a little bit like, what exactly are you trying to say, and if it is worth it, if people are very interested about this, because maybe some people don't need the product that you have, or maybe while you're there, it's cheaper to make it there instead of exporting. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that the U.S. Commercial Service provide, and we connect them to make sure that they work together, because the same item you sell to Mexico might not be the same item you sell to, Saudi Arabia or Africa or, Ghana. Like we have one of our customers, he was like, well, where do you think I should leave my money? Should it be in Ghana or should it be in the United States? So there's a lot of intricacy that comes into exporting.
And what is the format of these classes? What can people expect when they attend one of these virtual classes?
So these virtual classes are quick and short. Imagine we went from 4 hours to 1 hour and 30 minutes and trying to squeeze in as much as possible. So they have 20 minutes of where the instructor explains everything, does a presentation, then 10 minutes for questions. And every class has 3 instructors. So imagine we have 7 classes, 24 instructor, and trying to cover as many topics as possible.
And these classes will run through when, and what is the cost for the classes? Because I know there's a small cost, really, which is an investment in yourself.
No, and it's interesting because we really didn't think, everyone is hurting financially, but we want to make sure that people had a commitment. So for 7 classes, you can pay, which is $100, or each class, it costs $20. So right now we have 5 more classes to go. So you can either pay for $100 or you can pay $20. And then if you like it, you continue to do it. We wanted to have something affordable to people out there because we know people are hurting. They're looking different venue, but also we never noticed there's so much void. My goal was to have a very small class. And right now we have 43 students because I really wanted them to get to know each other. But then I noticed that so many people were seeking that we did. And I wanted to make sure that we help Houston people. That was my goal. So like 80% of our students come from Houston.
So once you pay for the class, I know it sounds like it's a live class because you can ask questions. Is there a way, since you're paying for it, can you go back and review the class? Will it be available for the folks who paid for it?
Yes, actually, one of the great things about it is like we're recording the class and we're sharing the PowerPoint with the students. Okay. So it's interesting because we did it in a way just in case life happens. And it's impressive how many people, even in the past 2 classes, they missed it because something happened out of their control. And I do share with them with the password and everything to them directly. So we don't publish this class, but this is actually just for the students.
Gabriela, we appreciate you being here. We're going to put the link. I believe there's an email address that folks can email you to get information on this class, these classes in the series. We'll put that link in the social media post for the show. We appreciate you joining us and telling us about the Export Academy. We'd love to see you again here on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to move on to Brittany with our HCC news and information. Brittany, you know, even though we're working virtually, there's a lot going on right now. We're in the midst of fall semester. Of course, spring's right around the corner. But most importantly for our students, we're in the midst of a campaign where we're raising money for our scholarships.
That's absolutely correct, Todd. So HCC students need our support financially to graduate. So faculty and staff, we're asking you to please sign up for a payroll deduction today to make an impact all year long. This benefits our HCC students through the HCC Foundation. It's something near and dear to my heart. I will constantly say that every time I get the opportunity to. So this is ongoing all the way through November 6th. If you're interested in donating or to sign up to that for that payroll deduction, be sure to visit hccs.edu/allinforhcc. And we also want you to share the word about that on social media. So share this information about the All In for HCC campaign with the same hashtag, All In for HCC.
So students, you got questions? We've got answers, textbooks, technology, tutoring, all that and more. We've got a one-stop shop for you. It's free. It's available on our website. Go to hccs.edu/online-toolkit. We'll have that link in this post as well for the show. But you can go to that website and literally get all your questions answered. Another thing, students, our student life department, well, they are virtually active. They've got a lot going on, Brittany.
They absolutely do, Todd. Student Life has been busy coming up with activities across the district. Check our social media posts or your emails to register for any one of these following events. The next event that's happening is Confident Presentation Skills with Dr. Risa Wolf. That's happening this Friday at 3 p.m. She's the author of the #1 bestseller, Executive Speaking in a Weekend, and it provides insight on being a technically savvy and effective communicator, which apparently I'm not being so right now. Sorry, maybe I should sign up for this.
You're trying though. Good.
I'm trying. We're gonna power through and make it happen. But also another great event, because we all know that this is an election year. Student Life and the government department are going to hold a discussion on the 2020 presidential candidates. So it's entitled Who's on the Ballot? This is really crucial for our students to be very aware of what's happening in our nation this day and age. Again, if you're interested in participating in any one of these events, you can go to hccs.edu/studentlife. You can also email at hcc.studentlife@hccs.edu. And the best way to register is to check your emails for the links. So students, make sure you're checking your HCCS emails. You can also follow Student Life on Instagram and Facebook.
That's right. So Hispanic Heritage Month, Brittany, that is underway as well. Student Life got a lot of things going on, salsa dancing classes, and I guess we've jumped on the drive-in theater chain.
Hey, you know what? I'm all in for that, because honestly, Hispanic Heritage Month obviously is very near and dear to my heart, but they're going to be showing the movie Coco, which is such a great film. I mean, I cried. I literally cried, because Disney's film Coco celebrates family, tradition, and history. It's got a lot of great music in it too. I mean, who doesn't love Disney music? I mean, let's just get real.
Yeah,
that's happening, Todd, Thursday, October 8th at 8 p.m. at our East Side campus in the parking lot. And it's free. So this is open, I'm sure, not only to our HCC family, but to the community as well. Bring your kids, stay safe, practice social distancing, and watch Coco. It's such a great movie.
Another thing that's going on, Brittany, we've got some student support webinars and Canvas tours. If you need help logging into HCC systems or software, check out these free 1-hour live virtual sessions to help our students. There's one happening Monday, the 28th from 10 to 11 a.m., that's going to navigate HCC systems, successfully complete online assignments, and reset passwords and more. They'll answer those questions for you. There's another one, the live Canvas tour, that's happening 1 to 2 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays, September 24th and 29th. We'll have information on that as well in this post. And we still have some COVID testing sites. Still a hot topic here in Harris County, of course. We're still under the condition red. And as you know, students, we're doing our learning online right now because of COVID. If you need COVID testing, we have 4 locations that are open right now, and they're available to you.
Absolutely, Todd. So we've been doing our part to help our community to have a drive-through testing site at 4 of our HCC campuses, 2 of which are in the southeast side of town, the Felix Fraga campus and the East Side campus. They're operating Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You do not need an appointment in order to visit the southeast locations. However, if you plan to visit our 2 other locations, which are the Northeast campus and the South campus, you are encouraged to make an appointment. Now, from our understanding is that you will not be turned away if you do not have the appointment, but in your best interest, go ahead and call that number and make the appointment. Not once again, but I will tell you that the Northeast and South campus are operating Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, that number is on the screen. Make your appointment so that you can be seen without any worries.
So that about wraps up today's show. We powered through this one. Brittany made it through. You were a bit sketchy at times, but you made it through.
Listen, I'm not a pro, Todd. I don't have the news background and, journalism background or the ability to speak this early in the morning. I just don't.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. So, we've got a big show for you tomorrow. We've got a resident poet, Dr. Jimmy Adams, will be here to share his visionary words of wisdom. And we've also got a virtually family fun day. It usually happens on Thursdays. I don't know what happened there, but it's happening tomorrow on Friday. And we're going to be going out to the Monterey Jazz Festival.
You know what? Jazz is not really my forte. I mean, I've listened to it. It's just not for everyone, but the Monterey Jazz Festival is big, obviously. It kicks off virtually tomorrow, September 25th, which is more or less the reason why we're having our guest on the show tomorrow. And he is the artist in residence. His name's Christian Sands, and he's on the saxophone. So that is going to be a real treat.
It is going to be a real treat. So you get a chance to see it. There is a jazz club across the street from where I'm living now. And I thought they were closed, but the other night I went out there, the parking lot was full and you could hear live music. So I guess they are back in session. So if you want to hear jazz, Brittany, you can journey out here to Memorial. They appear to be open across the street and they are jamming at nights.
That's good to know, Todd. It's good to know. I'm still a little sketchy about going out, in public places, but that's good to know when it is safe to do so.
Yeah, a lot of folks have been there. I was surprised at how packed they were. Yeah, so we went out yesterday. I've got an announcement. Soon my background's going to be changing because I'll be moving soon.
What?
I'm moving. Yeah, not that far from here, but I'm moving. So it's just we're able to find a place. So my background be changing unless I did order that device that you sent me, Brittany, in email, so I can put a green screen behind me. So we may use that more in the future as well.
I wish I had jumped on the green screen wagon a long time ago. I really did, because it's so worth it. It honestly is.
Well, I'm going to be jumping on the wagon of locking the dog in the bedroom starting tomorrow, because every time a guest was on, I'm back. He's on behind me causing problems, and I don't know what his problem is today. But tomorrow he gets locked in the bedroom.
Peter Frampton just wants to have his 15 minutes of fame on Up to the Minute, Todd. I mean, let's make it happen. Tomorrow
he can log in live and join us, but otherwise it ain't happening. He's not in the background tomorrow. He's in the bedroom. So there you go. Fair warning, folks. No Peter Frampton on the show tomorrow. All right, so we are about to wrap up today's show. Brittany, great job today. We appreciate you joining us. Power through again tomorrow. We got one more day left in the week.
Yep, just one more day. And once again, everyone, I'm going to remind you to like us on our social media pages and YouTube. And please share this podcast so that we can grow our audience. All you need to do is just click that share button at the bottom to add to your newsfeed. And that's it.
That's it, folks. That's it for today. I'm Todd Duplantis. She's Brittany Pacheco. We will see you live again tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Up to the Minute.